Thank you once again. We are on our show, The Red Seat. The Red Seat is where we discuss, of course, very hot issues happening around us and making sure we keep our people updated of what's happening in Abia and in Nigeria generally. My name remains Eme Okoro, the anchor of this particular show. And today with me, we have one person that we can describe as one of our elder statesmen in Abia State. We have somebody who can also be described as a veteran in politics. We have somebody who has been involved in leadership for so many years in Abia State, who have not only been involved, who have also been in government, served Abia State in different capacities. Today, we are with somebody who some few days ago celebrated, I think 70th year's birthday. 80th birthday, 80 years birthday. We are with me this morning, Dr. Eme Okoro. Doctor, sir. So, you celebrated 80 years few days back.
Yes.
How does it feel to be 80?
Well, I actually made 80 January 29.
Okay.
And because of the schedule of my children, that's why we shifted the noise making, the celebration to February, to allow them to come into the country and enjoy the paraphernalia of the noise. So that otherwise I became 80 January 29. I've come a long way. To be 80, like I said on that February 16, I spoke in Latin. I said, mens sana in corpore. That means a sound mind in a sound body. God has shown me grace, has shown me mercy, and I owe everything to God Almighty. The strength of character, I owe it to God. The ability to speak truth to power, I owe it to God. And my life is an embodiment of belief in God, and then in service to the people. That's all that interests me. I'm interested in the greater number, the greater good for the greater number of people.
Yes, you heard from Doctor himself, Dr. Eme Okoro. Doc, let's drive straight into our interaction this particular afternoon.
Fire.
You have been in politics all this while. You're one of the prominent figures in Abia State political space. How did you venture? How did you venture into politics?
Okay, it's very simple. I went to a good school, good secondary school. And my parents worked very hard to put me through a good school. And I realized that they were also politically inclined. My mother particularly was a top level woman in NCNC.
NCNC?
Yes, the National Council of Nigeria and Cameroon. And then I came to admire her tenacity, especially in hoisting support for top quality leadership. I saw my mother when I was growing up in Aba support people like F.I. Okoronkwo, NCNC, at the local level of Aba politics. And I came to realize that it was a question of what would A give to the people, and the ardent support women like my mother gave produced some sense of consciousness for me that it is necessary to learn exactly what my parents were doing, trying to find leadership of quality. And I began to admire NCNC, and that made me open to all kinds of things. To see Okpara, to admire Michael Okpara, who took over the leadership of the NCNC from Nnamdi Azikiwe. And I also grew up at a time when there was dissension in NCNC, leading to the formation of DPNC by K.O. Mbadiwedem, DPNC. And after election, the people who chose NCNC in preference to DPNC, and the result that when they saw DPNC backward there, but they didn't get it. And I began to follow the NCNC until I went to college. And Okpara showed interest in me and tried to talk about agriculture. That's actually, I went to read agriculture in the university because of Michael Okpara. He had an embodiment of the future. I think he came too early and that's why he died that early. Otherwise, I learned to be a pseudo politician, just enjoying the paraphernalia of power around him, what he used power to do for the greater number of people.
For the greater good.
Yeah, greater good of a greater number of people. Okpara would always remain somebody I would always call a hero. I'm from NCNC. See, the metamorphosis of politics in Nigeria. Eventually, MPN came, and we wandered into MPN automatically. Automatically, in the sense that NCNC faded, NPN came, and the MPN then began to form a coalition of forces of NCNC and what used to be MPC. That was why we thought there was going to be a Nigeria that had this semblance of unity of purpose. You know what happened all through to the war, and I stayed confirmed inside myself that one day I would either play politics or become a technocrat, and a technocrat, somebody who will give advice to top quality political minded people. And that is what my life has also. I'm not really a die in the wool kind of politician. I'm a technocrat. I give advice, but I also favor certain political bias. That is why when we ended up in PDP, from that evolution of alliances, and we joined PDP. I have remained in PDP. I'm still a PDP card carrying member. But at this age, I reserve a right to say what I feel like, what I think would help people, because that is all what my life is all about. All through my education, I have focused on doing something that will benefit people, like agriculture. Here, the 66 to 67% of Indibo are farmers. And why would I not do something from 66% or 70% of our people who are in the farming world? That's why I'm also feeling very happy, because I'm an authority on cassava. And you see, I produce cassava. I interplant my cassava with oil palm, because oil palm this is oil palm belt. God gave us resources which we should use to build people, build society, build a system, and make people stable and happy. And that is my life in politics.
Okay, Chief. Let us look at the bend of politics a little bit.
Yes.
Over time, it's been observed that it seems as though, we may be wrong, that you've not been in political bed or political alliance with the former governor of Abia State, Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu, who is now the senator representing Abia North. I don't know, is that true? If that's not true, what exactly is the political scenario?
Yeah, it's quite easy. I answered that precisely when I turned 80. I remembered my association with Orji Uzor Kalu. I was already the program manager of the ADP, the Agricultural Development Program, before he became governor. He didn't make me the program manager. I already grown to become the program manager. So, and I have this feeling within the both society, you know, like every other Nigerian, I became so committed because Orji Uzor is from Ibere and I'm from Ozita. So when he decided to lobby around, become big, I came to know a relationship. I came to build a relationship of support for him to become governor. And I didn't hesitate to back him, despite the evident shortcomings of education, etc. But because of the nearness of communities, locations, I felt I should pay more attention to somebody very close to me. So what I'm trying to say is that he didn't build me into an authority in agriculture. And he supported also a lot of work that I was doing in agriculture when he was governor. For example, he helped me develop major things in agriculture to build that ADP into a very solid ADP in this country. In fact, I built the best ADP in this nation until the World Bank began to recognize that I was somebody they could use. Orji didn't build me, and having stayed with him, I stayed with him until I saw it was playing a game of staying PDP and doing many things that justified his eventually forming his own party. I think he formed his own party. I was not part of that, and he had already kicked me out before all that.
Why did he kick you out?
Well, you see, when you are able to see truth by your own perception, and you can express your truth without fear, you don't make too many friends. Okay. In my own case, I looked at Orji not as a friend because he's a smaller boy, he's a younger person relative to me, but I saw him more as one. And every support I gave him, I gave it to him as one. I gave my best. I made a request when he was governor. I said, given the fact of what I had done, that I reserved the right to be made a permanent secretary. His brother, who was then head of service, Ogo, to be specific, said no, I shouldn't be. That if, since I was already on grade level, a certain grade level, given to me by a Yoruba man who was governor, a grade level 17 officer, and I said I was already earning higher than the permanent secretaries. Why don't you let me be program manager and permanent secretary? I wasn't saying head of service, but obviously, if you were earning grade level 17 and you're in the service, you are earning more than the head of service. So he accepted the advice of his brother, and we started to part company. I didn't re-enter the political firmament with him, but we were still on talking terms. But recently, I told him that I had made 80. I told him, I called him and said, Your Excellency, 80, and he didn't respond positively. What I mean by responding positively, a good number of people put themselves together, created platforms. He didn't participate, he didn't do anything. He didn't even say to them, let this man get a bottle of brandy for his birthday. It's not easy to make 80.
You think there's something he has against you?
If he has his business, I don't have anything against him, except that I said, for me, I had supported Mao Huabonwa to beat him. I had supported Mao Huabonwa because I believe, you see, people who can relate with other people and relate honestly with people should be the people who should become leaders. And I don't beat about bush. You don't tell the truth as much as you think you can and let it go. So when I supported Mao Huabonwa, I didn't shake. I would always support Mao Huabonwa because we have become friends. Somebody I didn't agree with prior to him becoming a senator. I didn't even agree to vote for Mao Huabonwa House of Rep on that side. Okay, and Mao didn't get mad. Today, I'm the chairman of the BOT of Follow Better. And then it's making me happy. Because even when I turned 80, it was Mao that also opened a platform to support a good reception for me. And I didn't offer more service to Mao than to Orji Uzor. Even when the brewery, Golden Guinea Brewery, blew up under Orji's regime, the person who came quickly to participate in seeing how that thing can, how we can rehabilitate people who were hurt in the explosion in brewery, was same Mao Huabonwa under Orji Uzor. And what Mao used to call me there is N3034, which is a name of a cassava. It's a variety. So we have become very close friends, and he realized and realizes also that I am a dogged supporter of people who can work hard. So if Orji has anything, I don't have anything against him. He's younger, I'm older, I'm more educated. So why do I have to worry? I don't worry about something.
Besides that, more educated.
Oh yes, because
it's as though you have an intention to slight him.
No, it's not to slight him. I'm making a general statement.
Okay.
I'm making a general statement, and I stand by it. I said, if you don't, my uncle used to say, in case you didn't care, God no care, man no care. Yes, I am saying that I don't envy him. He has his own life to live. I have stayed with him, showed support consistently. I showed brotherhood consistently. I'm not owing him, he's owing me. He's owing me as an elder brother. So it's a younger brother of my last born works for him. Eme Okoro works for him. in APC.
So invariably, you are saying that you don't have anything against him.
No.
You have no issue against him.
I don't have any.
Political differences. Everybody.
I share a difference of opinion politically.
Okay.
Currently.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Chief. Let's go to the next. This is still hot seat. We are discussing with Dr. Eme Okoro. We are starting from the 80s and coming forward to the current issue. So just stay relaxed. Make sure you drop your comments and make sure you share this content on all the social media platforms. Of course, you know me. I remain Eme Okoro. Chief.
Yeah,
the PDP.
Yes.
You are one of those people that I've seen around that has been very staunch and proud about your party, the PDP.
Yes.
But there are opinions that the PDP underperformed in the past 2 decades of the PDP. And especially if this government which you participated, the government of former Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, you were part of that government.
Yes.
There were a lot of Abians described that government has performed so badly. What is your take on these statements? Generally from the PDP and then for that particular government.
Okay. Let me put it properly. I'm a firm believer in the principles of democracy.
Yes.
The People's Democratic Party, which I said metamorphosed from NPN,
yes,
became a semblance, a coming together of like-minded people. So many things have happened through time. A good number of people have left the PDP. I used to have a very close friend, an ally, Prince Bibi Apugo. He used to be in PDP. We were all together in PDP. Whatever the situation is, you know, I'm friendly with him because he also speaks his mind. Okay, I disagree with him with maybe presentation, but in principle, I agree with him when he says that sort of example. The PDP is a very good party because he wanted to assemble good vision, champion causes that will create room for the good of a greater number of people. That is the basic principle of the PDP. And that is why I will never forget what we used to say as early as we joined that party, that everything we do must be for the good of the people. It's just like MPN, which I said was the forerunner of PDP. And when I say ebe soro na madu abo o kabo ole ba anyị na-aga MPN o ebe soro na kabo. And the essence was it, the Okabo was a representation of agriculture. Housing was an indication of people, and they put people inside the house. So provide food for a greater number of people, and to provide food means you have to create room to produce the food. And for people to eat the food, they have to have homes, they have to have factories, they have to process the food, they have to create wealth, and those are the principles on which the PDP was built. But you see, there are fringe benefits in every political party. Fringe people, people who don't have the capacity to see the things you need to do or you need to know to join a party. It's all over. I'm not talking about PDP, APC, name it, ABGA, whichever party. There are fringe characters in this country. Those fringe characters cannot bring anything new. But you see, they are human beings. If I need their vote, I forget the fringeness of them and try to convince them to cast the vote. So PDP had a number of these fringe people. Some have gone, some have stayed, some have continued to go keep here in order to distort the basic concept of the PDP. So the people who came to PDP, including the government that I served in, can be clothed in this expression.
Okay.
This particular expression I have. See, if you are a French character, it is very difficult to convince you to do something better. The PDP that I served in as the secretary to government of a PDP governor, we had views, we had dreams, and in fact, clearly speaking, Ikpeazu is still alive. I won't forget the original belief of Ikpeazu, myself, Udokochukwu, and Chijoke Wakodo. Chijoke Wakodo was the chief of staff And it was this T.H. good man. I became secretary to government because of T.H. And for me, he said, quote, "Werea oiferuru." I fought very hard. I fought very hard to ensure the victory of Ikpeazu. Many people know. Ask Onyem Ugochukwu, ask Colonel Akobund. I fought very hard. It's just like I fought very hard for Onyema to defeat T.A. And we didn't succeed. Yes, but eventually friendship and embodiment of good thoughts, putting together good people. That's why he left PPA, which was he formed. He left PPA and returned to PDP. So what I'm saying is that these are evolutionary processes. But in French society like ours, it is difficult to get an embodiment of every person good. Some people have to be bad as myself. Some have to be good as Ikpeazu, or as good as Orji Uzor. What is important is, what do we do to make this society a better? PDP did not do well. PDP did not do well even in the government we are served. Because the agreement we had was, whatever is good we can do for our people. When once four of us from different areas of this system had the opportunity to transform that, pass it on, let it go down, an embodiment. And people began to form all kinds of splinter support groups. And that created wrong impressions, created diversion, and diffused the essence of governance and the essence of top quality representation. And that is why I agree that PDP has not done well. And in so saying, I also told them that the principle of rotation should be an embodiment of solid government in a society as diverse as our own. That is why when I turned 78, I made it clear that I was not supportive of Ikpeazu handing over to another.
That's where but before we go there, Chief, at what point did you really understand that you cannot go on with this, the Ikpeazu government, or you were just fired, or what exactly happened?
Okay, well, I would say that I was, let me not use the word firing. When we started, we thought we were doing well by bringing friends, allies, building a greater society, creating room for people to know that there must be freedom of communication, contact, exchange of views, and then taking the majority view and implementing the majority view for the greater number of white people. It didn't work. We started splinter groups. You see them coming from different angles. People who I call French branch didn't have enough capacity, but eventually they became dominant. And when I was kicked out.
Kicked out?
Oh yes, when I was kicked out of the cabinet as secretary to government, it was T.H. that brought me back. Ask him. Say that Dr. Okoro said that I will return to become secretary to government for another period by T.H. Because T.H. was also the person who handed over power to Ikpeazu. T.H. is a good man. I have differences of opinion with him though. But you see, those differences of opinion when I had with him, when I was backing Onyema, a top quality friend of mine, a top quality classmate of mine, we were defeated. And T.A. jettisoned the anger, the criticisms of Eme Okoro, and said, there is something this here. So T.A. brought me back very well back into the system where I was doing this opportunity to advise until he said, Batanime, John Batanime government, and as secretary to government, my job was to advise. And if your advice was not taken, it's too bad. And since it was not taken, it didn't work well for us.
Part of your party members have the opinion that Chief Eme Okoro, doctor, is very stubborn, that you are very principled, that whenever your views are not taken, that you tend to stuck to your gun, that these were the reasons why you refused to back the former governor's decision of throwing back the governorship seat to the Ngwa axis in Abia Central.
Yes.
And they were saying that those were the reasons why they lost the election, that were part of those that made them lose the election.
No, if they lost election
what is your take?
No, I don't give a damn if they lost election by not listening to common sense. The fault is theirs, not mine. And I didn't hide it. It was at the caucus meeting. I can comfortably say to you with fact and figure, dates. I visited the inaugural chairman of this PDP called Okasanya. When I was going, I took one man called Eze Pishonye. He wasn't an Eze that time, Pishonye.
Yes.
And I approached the inaugural chairman of the party and I said, you were the inaugural chairman of our PDP. We're not going following the pathway that will bring victory. And he asked me whether it was only me and Nonyebu that will say that. I said, no, we were just a representative of a group. And he said, well, let me see the group. And he gave us breakfast in his house. We were many, including the Dokreke, who has died.
Yes,
and we made it clear that we must understand the principles of let's move this thing to another zone, because 8 years would be enough for a zone. I pass it quite to another zone. But the simple concept is rotation. It wasn't drawn up by Eme Okoro. There were people like many have died. Prof. Iruku, for example, chairman of the Elders Council. I was also secretary of the Elders Council of the state before even becoming secretary of government. So it wasn't me alone doing it. Okashana was also a member of the Elders Council. Onyem Gochuku, Chuku Wachuku, nke nwe hospital nwam nke Abraba. Anaghị Ezikpe was key to the concept of zonation. Ikemachukwu is alive. It was a decision taken by all of us. Let us rotate this thing so that every person will have a sense of belonging and feeling of togetherness. And that's, if it's a crime that I committed, I'm not unhappy about it. So I made clear at the caucus that I was not going to accept imposition either by TA, because TA eventually considered to Governor Okezie. And I told the governor, who hears already, I told PDP in the PDP caucus, which they didn't want me to attend. I attended. Yes, they wanted me out so that they won't. I won't give a different opinion. You see, when you accept the opportunity for people to give their own opinion, that opinion, when properly canvassed, if it is bad and it's jettisoned, you do nothing. I wasn't even given opportunity to canvass it appropriately. I just said, this is not right. And then if PDP didn't want to listen, Professor Ikone died. When Ikone came to my house, I asked him if he was a PDP card carry member. He said yes. I told him, how many ward meetings do you attend? I won't back you. I got a chief of staff. I got a stage. Chief of staff to come and take over. Kickers. Okay. So MCSC, you're a good man. But I can mention. And I made it clear that I will do everything possible to create impression that ndị makwani here on a party. I won't hear none in mere. Abaribe was in my house. Onyemukotu was in my house. Fuji, the Mecharaga. Yes, they were all in my house the day the PDP was holding a primary. All of them. Abraham was working with me to support Abia North. Tell him is what I said. And I did. I went beyond that. I called him between Senator Miles' house and Udokotu's house. I called him and I said, I'm not going to back you. He asked him, I'm not quarreling with him, but we were together in this business of accepting that it should be rotated. And then, if you do something different, you are a French character.
Do you think your party have learned from the last election, the failures and the challenges?
No. A few weeks ago, it's about a month ago, I went to Ukonkole's PDP Abia North meeting. I was invited, I went. And I thought the party was trying to take 2-3 steps backwards to regroup. I went. I didn't go with somebody's support. I went because I was invited. And I kept talking about what went wrong. How do we right the wrong? How do we rehabilitate the party? That's my posture. And now, see what they're doing. Which meant the advice being given by people like me to let us seek peace, rehabilitate the party, is not being listened to. If you want to do the right thing, in the morning yesterday, my wife called me and said, oh, that Ama has expelled Senator Wabara from PDP. I said, he doesn't have the local standing to do so. Party with an elders, one name. That's all I said. The elders should be consulted. I'm an elder of the party. And these French characters that have joined this party, I know when they came in. I've given you how I transgressed from NCNC through to PDP. We were there. Age in my own sphere has helped me to learn a lot and has given me opportunity at the background of my education to say what I want to say. If you don't like it, there's no love lost. But I'm saying that under no circumstances must certain things be done. If we do certain things irrespective of what others think, a majority, there are so many silent people in the party who have said nothing. So don't take them for granted. There's no imposition, there's no dictatorship. If I want to be under dictatorship, I'm Afla. I have opportunity to go anywhere in the world.
Okay. Your party, the PDP,
yes,
led by his chairman here, which also the allegations that you do not agree with his chairmanship, and that there is a case in court which was instituted by a group of people which you are part of. I don't know if
whoever is saying that is stupid. Why is he stupid? If I don't agree with it, I made it clear that I'm not part of it. That's all. If they go to court, it is the business of the party to do elements of the party who want to go to court have right to go to court. This is a democracy, my friend. You can go to court and follow the rule of law. I don't even interfere with the legal process. I have made my own opinion clear. I said I am not supportive of this. When I sounded positively was when I thought they were about to think about reconciliation that will lead to a rehabilitation so that we can reconstitute
the party.
Oh yes.
But do you recognize Eme Okoro as the chairman of your party in Abia State?
I don't belong to any faction. I'm a PDP card carrying member. That's all I can say. If I recognize him, I don't recognize him. He's doing his own business.
Okay, let's look at what the party is saying, led by Eme Okoro.
Yes.
That distinguished former Senate President,
yes,
Senator Adolphus Wabara,
yes,
who is also the BOT chairman of the PDP,
yes,
did anti-party. They say
by doing what?
He used glorious words on the achievements of the present government, and that the way he spoke about the government, it has diminished the capacity of PDP to be able to achieve so much in the state. And that's anti-party in their own context. What is your take?
You see, you are an Abian. Is there any Abian who will say that Alex Otti is not doing well? If there is an Abian who will say Alex Otti is not doing well, and give us specific reasons why he has evaluated the performance of Alex Otti and found Alex Otti wanting. Let me tell you a story which I can confirm. Several years ago, when Alex Otti wanted to be governor, he approached me. Alex came to visit him several years ago. Elders Council, led by Prosiruko, gave me a mandate to ask him whether he was sure he wanted to run. Please, Alex is alive. I called him and He didn't answer in time. In less than 15 minutes, he called me back. I was calling Alex Otti on behalf of Elders Council because I was secretary. I was almost acting as the executive secretary of the Elders Council of this state, which has not been reconstituted. Now, I asked him, I said, Alexo, ndị ichie sị m jụọ ọrụ ma ihe ọ ga-adịghị arụ anaghị ezikwa anwụọla prosirukwu anwụọla were lie against them. KUK Kalu anwụkwuola. I'm still alive. Onye m Gochukwu is still alive. Many of Mandengwa are still alive. When the decision even to make Ikpeazu governor was taken and we passed it in Elders Council, passed it back to Ndengwa. Si unu chọrọ anyị mmadụ atọ ka anyị nye opinion anyị. All we are recognition of participatory governance, participatory democracy. In the same way, I have a right to say Eme Okoro. Let me also tell you, when one man insulted Igbo, the man who one television studio, big one, used to be for PDP. Onye Bendel. Okay. He said that he insulted Igbo, and I protested to for them that he should not be tolerated when he wants to come to Abia. That I will oppose him coming. I called the Waziri Atiku and I said, I'm Dokpeshi. That's his name. Late Dokpeshi. I said, I will not support his visiting Abia. He should go and visit his own people. Should that I am Igbo, through and through. And who is Dokpeshi? I met Dokpeshi when we were trying to make Ibrahim Babangida president. I persuaded and he failed. We didn't even get started. We didn't even get started. So I date back. I date back.
Very bad.
So maybe I don't agree that Dokpeshi should visit Abia. If he said yes, I would have been very happy. I wrote a commentary against Dokpeshi and passed it to Atiku. Who did the background document? It's the same Eme Abraham. Yeah, would have been a boom in not my old house. I read it. I said, this is not my English, but it expresses my principle. See, I'm living for the US in 48 hours. Signed by. And we approved it. Ama was also part of my protest against Dokpeshi, against the principles of overlooking democracy at the level of ethnic
sentiment.
Yes. And I said, Eme Okoro. The person who came and intervened is Atiku. And I had to come back all the way from the US to listen to my friend Atiku. The day he was supposed to be announcing, he said, to allow me come, can reconcile me and Dokpeshi. And I simply said, I have nothing against him, but he was rude to Igbo. But my people here did not agree to shun him. They received him so that they can share loot. No, so as I'm saying, in effect, Dokpeshi Anokwa here, Dokpeshi was not my friend. We were just allies working together to ensure that Atiku Waziri will become president. So all I'm saying is that when I said Eme Okoro, leave me with myself. The PDP doesn't feed me, Emenike. PDP doesn't do anything for me. Except sending me to be a member of what? Governing council of university something several years ago, and it was on the concession of somebody like Udokochukwu. It was something given to him, and he said, "Namuku biaje here."
But Chief, do you think it will be good as a party man? Do you think it's very proper for a party man to be utilizing, praising another person, another party so vocally when he knows that it's at the detriment of his own party?
No, it's at the detriment of poor performance, not the detriment of a party. Okay. It's at the detriment due to poverty of performance. Look, I reserve the right. Let me give you an example. Alex Otti didn't know that I was in Bende. One day he was flagging off a road. He didn't know I was there. I went to see the road. The reason why I went to see the road is several years ago, when we were all in PDP, including Alex Otti, I drove him and I showed him the lowlands, rice lowlands of Abia. And I said to him, I drove him through Bende, passing the cocoa research. And I said to him, if you go here, you will see lowlands. And I quite Fadama. So if you go left, you go to Zitem, Zwakole. And if I continue forward, swing on a hogback, I get to Uzwabam. All that is Ibere, Uzwabam, Zitem, Zwakole, Bende, rice land. If you do the right things in terms of agriculture, I can help produce all the rice in the Abia. You don't need to import rice. In the Abia to produce rice in there, go to the lowlands. So if Alex is doing well,
so you drove past that road
several years ago, and then all of a sudden Alex decides to link that same road through to Ikuano. If I show you a document of the Ikuano, the United States, we were thinking about how can we add value to cassava. And they approached me. They brought a brother, and I went through to the Bende area, Kacha, Ebe, Agarame Pozo. And I said to him, look at Oko, look at cocoa, it's cocoa land, look at swamp, look at cassava, and look at the fact that Alex had joined Central Iguano to North and opened a vast territory of land for exploitation, positive exploitation of the land for the greater benefit of a greater number of people. And I say he's doing poorly. I must be sick then. When he's not doing well, Dr. Eme Okoro say that I told the governor, open the space. Now, International Conference Center, Your Excellency, open the space so that you can take more people, but more people from Abia who have the capacity to assist you. That means all the query, human capacity development. That is why I went forward to talk about ORCID. What I originally conceived that as Okpara Regional Center for Human and Institutional Development. But on my 8 years, it's the Eme Okoro Regional Center for Human and Institutional Development, so that I can build a think tank. If we open up, it's not me alone, it's just a group of people. Open up, they're not looking for money, they're looking for ability to assist a performer to do better. Alex was in PDP, within another party. He is in Labour now. So, if he's good, tell him he's good. If he's bad, tell him he's bad.
He can also be described as a party man.
Myself.
He can also be described as once your party man.
He was a PDP man before. You mean Alex Otti?
Yes.
Yes, he was in PDP. He was in PDP. Say that I said he was in PDP.
Yeah, it's a public
knowledge.
So, Chief, we have talked about all those the PDP. Now let's come back to our state and the present administration. Yes, you have said one or two things, but I want you again to tell us your honest assessment of how this government is doing and how this government can do better.
Okay. I'm looking at infrastructural development of this state, the expansion of the scope for people to move around easily and better. I can score him highly. I'm also looking at the possibility that he will provide certain infrastructure like rural electrification. Seen him making every effort to organize refuse management and turn the refuse into wealth. I like it. Why? Because I used to be general manager of ASEPA. And these are things that conceived several years even before being a part of government. I was the head of ASEPA. I built ASEPA from a 4-man team to a 21-man team until the United Nations recognized even Abia Environmental Protection Agency, working with one professor from the Yoruba land. All I'm saying in effect is that those basic infrastructures that are missing, which my party should have put in, if somebody else comes, Mabu Abgao, Mabu Lebo, Mabu fantastic party, who will recognize that by putting this basic infrastructure, by making these institutions available to all and sundry, that person will be doing well. Unless he's doing well to that extent. The only criticism that I have about him is one I have just told him yesterday: open the space. Open the space is let us have more people making input into your system.
Okay.
Because when you do, you have opportunity to see differences in opinion about approaches. And then who will take the glory? It's Alex. It's not you bringing the idea. It is the governor who will benefit from the advice of people who are not either in Labour or PDP or whatever. Open the space. That's the only criticism I have. And opening that space, if he lets me say, Doc, what do you mean by opening the space? I will explain. I don't work in the bank, but I worked in the system of administration. So I can tell him what many of the people will respect to administration, especially civil service and all that. There are too many things that I can make input into with my group of people who think alike, people who are as old as myself.
Yes.
You know, it's like that. You know, I'm happy to see people like Abaribe, because it was also in my house that I told Abaribe, you want to be governor, I will not support you. Why? Onyo Bingwa had just finished 8 years. And he listened, and we didn't quarrel. The same day, we were all there. All of us who said I want the PDP, we were all there.
You told Abaribe?
Yes. And Abaribe didn't quarrel. Asked him, it's one megam, he returned to the Senate as a Mara.
And he did?
He did.
And he defeated the former governor?
Uncle defeated the man battered. It is being able to articulate your views in a manner that will justify the greater number of people saying Gawa. That's all. That's all.
Chief, the way you said your former principal battered.
Obara first. No, all my former principal, all way you know. But all I'm saying is that here. Maybe more. There was an opportunity. There are things we could have done. We could have done better.
We are still with Chief, though. We are rounding up our discussion. We have come to the peak of the discussion, and we are transcending low now. This is the Red Seat, and we're discussing everything politics today with Dr. Eme Okoro, a respected Abian and a veteran, a professional veteran in politics. Professional politician, or a professional.
Yes, I'm a professional in politics. Yeah. That's why I said that I'm a technocrat.
So looking forward,
yes,
you still remain a member of the PDP.
Yes, until they destroy it finally.
Man who can objectively view things from your own opinion and state the way it is.
Yes.
Which way forward for the PDP? How can the PDP correct her problems and move forward?
But more simple. Let us subsume what we think is our power, what we think is the strength of character we have, and ask ourselves, what are the basic principles on which the PDP was founded? If you do, you find out that there's a gap.
Yeah, your PDP problem is from the national, everything.
Oh, yes.
The allegations that even the state here is being influenced from somewhere from Abuja.
But that is their opinion. If, for example, me, if I had the opportunity and I gave certain people advice at the national level, when I was made the chairman screening committee of President Ohaneze, I asked the senator, Mbata, which is your local government in Rivers? He asked me, local government here, Obiakpo. So that is the same place we can see. Yes, Iwonibo. Yes, Namchoni Aja Sukwa Beke, Yaswa Ibo. Mbata, na Iwonibo. Yes, local government. It's just like me, Namasi. No, all Jews have one name. Well, from the same local government. What we better, who was it? Do you understand? Mbata told me now, Wike is my son. I trained him. I brought him into politics. I have a difference of opinion with him with respect to Fubara. that constitution allows Wabara to be governor. Happen here. Do you understand? Happen here, governor. Why is the people calling themselves party leaders of the PDP not telling Wike any Kulu Kwalana? How you make what I cool? Any not auto. Not to talk what in here. I talk what I thought.
Maybe Chief, you're not influenced by the Ghana must goes.
No,
because sometimes all the Kawayako judges in the money.
Maybe imagine in kind of business what I'm saying, now on our state, on my Golayoku as an elder, on me advice. Okay, and what way in advice? I will know the show of yourself within the rank and file of your party. Oh, not why. You're not coming to mess with Wabara. Wabara should be disciplined by the National Executive Committee of the party. Do you understand? It wasn't what is his name, Ama, that made him BOT chairman. Do you understand? We didn't vote for him to be BOT chairman. It was done at that highest level. So why do we want to rubbish Onyenkai? Why don't we come back here? That is why I said I went to Nkole's place, hoping that from Abia North, where Ama is from, Kamalite, Boratawaha. Asked them, when I went to that meeting, he knelt down and pleaded peace.
Ama.
Please, ask Nde Garano, ask Nkole, for example. Did Ama preach peace? No compound, no Nkole. Ask Nde Garano, totally what can you be told? Did he ever kneel down? Say, in support of Kudode. Why would you do that and you play this kind of politics? I think it's right for me. And Chineke Makwanokun, I never got up to tell any Kule. All I'm saying Kule. And he did it again. He made a business here. All I'm me pronounce here in Yongwa. Nabatala Kule could hold it. And you turn around and hit me below the bed. Let's hear eldership meaning. No, what I'm saying is let us not go playing this hanky-panky. It is not good. Why do we want to rubbish Wabara?
You totally condemn the suspension, the later expulsion of Senator.
We should have been democratically consulted. All of us in the party. What man meeting say, can you vote to work at wire? You see, I'm not saying that Wabara is a paragon. Several years ago, I had differences of opinion with Wabara. But for goodness, Wabara, I will support him because he insisted that this rotation should be respected. That's what brought me closer to him. Rotation, not to Eme Okoro. Rotation to Abia North. Do you understand me? And he stood firm. And I liked him. Didn't mean that Odim the Muna Seroku, Muna Sequaloku, Ochikwa Muna Gagese. But in the last couple of weeks, for example, I'm part of the elders of Igbo land. I'm Igbo. And I have contacts. I'm talking about better Igbo land. Better appreciation of Alibo, better appreciation of Indibo. Kaecheto, I marry your jaw. If they don't want us to stay, let us peaceful resolve and do what the Kembane told us. And the campus of Nsoka. Let us move slightly further apart and survive than come together and die in the collision. That's what brought secession.
Okay, on a final note, Chief, you just brought up a very sensitive issue about Indigo.
Yes.
And their interest, survival in Nigeria.
Yes.
And you know, we also have one of our Abia son, Nabikano, who is at the moment incarcerated because of agitation for Biafra.
Yes.
What is your take? What would you advise President Tinubu as regards the Igbos generally, how we can move forward and survive in Nabikano?
Okay. It's a complex thing, America. Why is it complex? Agawog. A particular log. All the soldiers send a jagog. There would I use the word French. What the hage magamation? Let me tell you why. Yorubas quietly making this country. They are quietly building a Yoruba nation. Several years ago, we were told, I don't know whether it's true or not, that Yorubas already have national anthem. They are building quietly, silently. Look at the appointments, top quality appointments in the federal setup. Okacharende Yoruba. In Emeke, power is in their hand. Do you understand? What is my business? Now, talking about Alibo, if you stop these funny things at the local levels of Abia, and Ndibo, a better, bigger picture of Ndibo, the quality. Oh, when me see Alex to space, God bless Alibo, the quality people. In by America, within 7 days, I can give you over every system. Powerful Ndibo. In every corner of development. Mepetu Kawabia Buti Yaka. Having said so, Nnamdi Kanu, let me tell you my only problem. It is not agitation. When I was secretary to government, they brought Umuahia down. And then I was secretary to government. I had not left my house. I was going to work. When they evacuated, the matter batch also, me for trouser, there for Nika. And I showed the wounds of war. The wounds of war, Biafra war. How many of them names one saw the Biafra war? But I saw it from Oreda, Younger, Unetim, Odorikpe, which went Dunlop, SPC. The wounds of war. I'm a symbol of resistance. Igbo resistance. I'm talking about wounds of war. I'm talking about these are wounds of war. About Shisimuku. No copedi. About Shisimuku. I captured it too. And I'm saying to them, it is no time for shedding Igbo blood. Let us use the common sense. Okay. Nnamdi Kanu should be part of the progress. Part of the progress, not part of a problem. So what I would have said is, let these people who call themselves powerful Igbos who have been elected, then APC, who are sympathizing with APC, droves and droves of them running into APC. It is for their pocket.
Like,
not for,
like your brother, the senator.
Oh, got business here. Why won't somebody who says he's a senator from APC platform and is Igbo go up to Mr. President, say, Mr. President, enough is enough. Half or two, Nnamdi Kanu. I will write off the problem to get great. Abaribe is Senator Abga. Vurianishi. So if we have three Abaribes, then we go walk up to the damn man. Say, you see, look, people don't even know that the man doesn't have the qualification to be president. And no person wants to listen. I first met him with Orji Uzor. When Orji Uzor was talking about Misubaya, it was a warehouse, Son Misuba. That's when I first met Tinubu. I got my degree in Abia State University. It didn't impress me. I'm of the US stock in terms of the fact that I have facts, which Hyundai published fast figures, incontrovertible, within US circumstances of the truth about Tinubu. What are we doing? I want Ndibo to be given the opportunity to found a homeland. If it is peacefully within the context of Nigeria, all well and good. Otherwise, we can talk about restructuring of the chimerical structure of Nigeria to accommodate slightly moving apart so that we can all survive. The Igbos can survive. Yoruba nation can survive. The Yoruba nation is already surviving. I mean, you can go and look at the amount of money going from the central core to Ala Yoruba. You will cry. What are they doing? They no person say anything.
Thank you, Chief.
God bless you.